May 24th, 2022. A small town in Texas, Uvalde. It began as a normal day, but what the cameras captured turned into a permanent scar on humanity. The footage shows an 18-year-old boy, Salvador Ramos, walking through the doors of Robb Elementary School carrying his rifle. His footsteps echo through the hallway, while behind the classroom walls, innocent children are seconds away from facing death. Moments later, police officers appear in the hallway. But look closely. Instead of moving forward, they retreat. Inside that classroom, 19 young children and 2 teachers were trapped, waiting helplessly for their final moments. Salvador Ramos had locked the door and then opened fire, one bullet after another, stealing their lives. And the police? They just stood there, letting the minutes slip away. This video is proof of a tragedy that wasn't just a massacre. It was one of humanity's darkest failures. This one is oddly unsettling. You might find yourself caught up in the offbeat choreographed routine of this school performance. But if your eyes drift to the background, you'll notice something that will freeze you in place. As the dancers move, keep focus on the rear wall. Out of nowhere, something darts across like the shadow of a hunched figure, sliding quickly along the backdrop before vanishing into the dark. The problem is there's no visible source of light or any reason for such a shape to appear on the wall. And if there truly were a light aimed from the front, the performer's own silhouettes would also be cast behind them. Yet this thing, whatever it might be, seems to float in an unnatural motion, almost gliding instead of running to keep from blocking anyone's view. The entire moment feels disturbingly off, and all you can really do is replay the footage again and again, questioning what that figure could have been, and if something sinister lingered in the school that night. Student meltdowns can be unsettling, but teacher meltdowns are even more terrifying. This shocking clip of an absolutely furious teacher lashing out at a first grader for miscounting is every parent's nightmare come true. The classroom aide secretly filmed the incident with her phone, which strongly implies that this behavior wasn't a one-time thing. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been ready to capture the teacher's explosive rage, which included tearing up the child's paper and tossing it aside. "Go sit in the calm down chair right now," she barked at the little student. "Nothing makes me angrier than when you ignore what's written on your work." She kept yelling at the kids like she was leading an army drill. The teacher, Charlotte Dial, worked at a network called Success Academy, a charter school in New York City. Shockingly, the release of this video didn't cost her job. Instead, she only received a formal warning. This footage comes from the incident at Stoneman High School. As terrified students sit in a dim classroom, a SWAT unit storms inside, beams of light hitting their faces as the team closes in on them. Officers command the students to lift their hands and hide their phones. The clip cuts here, as the recorder obeys, yet even this short glimpse of what followed offers a chilling look into the dread and panic students must endure in such a moment. On the right,
Hands, put your hands up, guys. Please. Put your phones away.
you notice a student's arm shaking and faint frightened whispers can be heard as the SWAT group makes entry. Columbine is no longer seen as an isolated tragedy. Since 2013, America has witnessed 287 incidents like it. Parents send their children to class with a quiet fear. Are schools truly safe? Not nearly as safe as we want them to be. That's why many campuses now conduct active shooter drills, training staff and officers to respond if the unthinkable ever happens on their grounds. During these rehearsals, smoke fills the halls, simulating explosives set off by the attacker. The tension rises. Alarms blare, lights flash, darkness spreads, designed to push responders into a state of urgency. Students drop to the floor, backpacks beside them, playing the role of victims. Others marked with fake wounds are led outside as heavily armed police sweep the building, hunting the imaginary gunman. It is both disturbing and heartbreaking that schools and law enforcement must prepare like this. What was once unthinkable is now routine. Watching the exercise is unsettling enough. Living through the real thing would be terrifying beyond words. In the early hours of dawn on the 1st of August 2008, Asheville High School in North Carolina had an uninvited presence. A figure of darkness is seen lingering in the corridor. The frame was caught at 2:51 a.m. when the surveillance system was triggered by movement. In that instant, within a patch of light at the left side of the screen, you can notice a figure standing there before it shifts, as though taking a few paces. The outline then seems to appear above the elevator and further down the passage. You can watch the dim shadow float in front of the crimson doors beyond. Those who viewed the clip initially believed the shape was a bat, but after close review they were left uncertain about what the image might be, since it carried the outline of a human form. Speculation spread, yet one staff member at the school was convinced of something. This was the spirit of a past student who had come back to settle the score with the teacher. Which one? That remains a mystery. Captured on video in Rio de Janeiro, this tragedy unfolded at Escola Municipal, carried out once again by a former pupil. The attacker was 23 years old and gained access to the school early in the morning by pretending he had been invited to deliver a lecture. But instead, he arrived armed, stepped into a classroom, and ended the lives of 12 children. The incident forced the school into lockdown, with teachers ordering students to crouch under their desks while barricading their classroom doors. The footage captures students escaping as the man begins his assault. They can be seen sprinting through a hallway and rushing out of the building. Military Police Sergeant Marcio Alves reported that when he reached the scene, he discovered the suspect on the second floor coming out of a classroom. The gunman pointed at police, was struck, collapsed to the floor, and then ended his own life. On him, authorities found a letter outlining his intent and requesting to be buried beside his adoptive mother. This chilling body cam recording shows 19-year-old Sky Booch, once a student of Forest High School in Ocala, Florida, being pinned as a suspect. Pressed face down on the pavement, he responds to an officer's questions while the camera keeps rolling. Booch was taken into custody after sneaking into the school with a guitar case hiding a sawed-off shotgun. He slipped into a restroom to strap on a tactical vest and gloves, then made his way to a classroom where he blasted a single shot through the door, injuring one student. Booch even apologized to the victim, admitting, "It doesn't fix anything anyway." And he was right, nothing was fixed. Authorities reported that he later confessed he had originally planned a far deadlier act on April 13th, but backed down. Investigators discovered he had bought the weapon from a private online seller not long after the Parkland tragedy. He claimed this was his only way out of a broken home life. Fortunately, a school resource officer stepped in before the nightmare escalated, catching Booch and taking him down without further bloodshed. The security cameras at Pocatello High School captured footage that many consider some of the most unsettling ghost evidence ever recorded. On December 19th, a group of students, one holding a camera, caught sight of a shadow-like adult figure moving near the drinking fountain. The figure drifted toward the restroom, exited, and then continued slowly down the corridor. Once the clip was made public, John and Lisa Bryan, founders of the Scientific Paranormal Investigative Research Organization, came to the school to look into the strange activity, especially after reports that the building's lights had been tampered with. While there, they themselves witnessed a transparent figure shifting through the hallway. The pair insisted that this type of surveillance footage couldn't be tampered with, both because of how the system was built and because of legal requirements. Lisa explained that they reviewed the recording repeatedly, in real time and in slow motion. "You can clearly see the lights flickering on and off," she noted. Police were even called in because of these disturbances happening inside the school, and all of it proves this wasn't just something staged. It was something genuinely happening. Naturally, Pocatello High has long been wrapped in rumors and ghost tales, from supposed drownings in the school's swimming pool to unexplained deaths of librarians and young students. Though many stories are exaggerated, John and his team traced at least 6 documented deaths in the school's past. One of them did confirm a boy drowning in the pool, which led to the pool's removal entirely. The chilling accounts just keep stacking higher, and this eerie video only seems to give those legends even more weight.